Let's begin by talking about the materials we're going to need to begin this project. We need some water, some tape. I have a variety of tape here, some plaster wrap, some scissors, our drawing, newspaper to make our forms, and of course the board that we're going to use as our foundation. So just start taking apart your newspaper, and we're going to create some forms, some three-dimensional forms. We're going to tape these together. A lot of you have done projects like this before at school. Here we are just going to look at our drawing, our idea, and try to create some of these forms in 3D. Once you have a shape that you like, just simply use some tape to kind of keep that shape intact there, just like that. Don't worry if it doesn't stand up. We'll use our plaster wrap for that to help some of these taller forms stand up. So go ahead and just make a bunch of shapes. Think about some of the things you were thinking about with your landscape setting. And I suggest just make a bunch of different forms and play with those once you get them done. After creating a few shapes, go ahead and play with them on your board, on your foundation. Just have some fun, play around with them. And next we'll talk about the plaster wrap.
This non-toxic plaster wrap is easy to apply, sets quickly, and is fast drying. It's ideal for use in sculptures, mask-making, jewelry, craft projects, and more. Simply wet it, shape it, and then dry it. This versatile plastic gauze product air dries in approximately 20 minutes.
To begin, just unroll your plaster wrap and start cutting some shapes. Cut a variety of sizes. Cut some big pieces, some little thin pieces. You'll use them in a variety of ways, thinking about overlapping. Once you're done with a few, go ahead and move that other roll out of the way so you don't get any water on there. You don't want that to seep down into your plaster wrap. Okay, let's get started. I suggest holding it between two fingers here with my left hand and at the tips so it doesn't fold over on itself. When it's wet, it can get really sticky and hard to wrap. So and then I use my other hand, my right hand, to kind of get the rest of the water out of there. Now this is just a technique, something that we've come up with to deal with this stuff and how to handle it. Go ahead and try that. And so, like I said, it kind of allows you to use it then like a blanket, like a wet blanket almost. And as you smooth it out, you will see the plaster kind of fills in around the cracks. And so just continue with this technique. It will also get the excess water out so you don't have a whole bunch of water all over your surface. Just continue with this process over and over, and again, smooth out your plaster wrap once it's applied, and have some fun. Experiment with this. Once you have a lot of your forms kind of down onto the foundation of the wood, go ahead and take some of your larger pieces and start to put them on the surface. And remember to overlap a lot of the material so that you don't have any cracks that kind of come up and can possibly peel away. And again, smoothing it out. Dip your fingers in there a little bit in the water and go over the surface and really make sure you can fill in all the cracks so it feels like a nice flat continuous surface. I'm also going around the edges, you see here. I'm just kind of reinforcing this material so that it doesn't peel off, giving it some extra strength by going around the edges. Another thing you can do with this material is just simply get it wet and wad it up in a ball. This is what happens when you lose control of the material if you're not holding it on the corners and keeping it flat. It just kind of molds into this shape, but we can also use that to our advantage, make little forms. Okay, here's the beginning to my fantasy landscape. Just getting the forms on there using the plaster wrap, some newspaper, and so far so good. Have fun, be creative, and I'll see you in class.